Imagine discovering an animal that can grow old and then simply become young again. Not in a movie, not in a science fiction novel, not in a laboratory experiment. In the real ocean, somewhere beneath the waves lives a tiny creature with an ability so strange that scientists have spent decades trying to understand it. An animal that appears to have found a way around one of nature's most universal rules: aging. Meet the immortal jellyfish, the tiny marine animal that shocked the scientific world by repeatedly reversing its own life cycle. And once you understand how it does this, you may never think about life, aging, or survival in quite the same way again. At first glance, the immortal jellyfish doesn't look extraordinary. In fact, it looks surprisingly ordinary. Its transparent body is usually less than half an inch across. Its delicate tentacles drift through the water. Nothing about its appearance suggests that it possesses one of the most unusual biological abilities ever discovered. If you swam past one in the ocean, you would probably never notice it. And yet hidden inside this tiny body is a process that seems almost impossible. To understand why scientists became so fascinated by this animal, we first need to understand what normally happens during its life. The immortal jellyfish begins life as a tiny larva. Eventually, it settles onto a surface and develops into a small colony-like stage. From there, it grows into the free-swimming jellyfish form most people recognize. As time passes, the jellyfish matures and reaches adulthood. For most animals, this would be the final stage of life. The biological clock would continue ticking. Age would gradually take its toll. Eventually, life would come to an end. But the immortal jellyfish follows a very different path. Under certain conditions, something remarkable happens. Instead of continuing toward death, the jellyfish starts moving backward through its life cycle. Scientists first struggled to believe what they were seeing. The adult jellyfish begins transforming. Its body changes. Its structure reorganizes. Its cells undergo an extraordinary biological process. Then, rather than remaining an adult, it returns to an earlier developmental stage. In simple terms, the jellyfish becomes biologically younger. Imagine finishing adulthood and somehow returning to childhood. That is essentially what makes this species so extraordinary. The process is known as transdifferentiation, and it is one of the most fascinating abilities ever observed in an animal. During transdifferentiation, specialized cells can change into completely different kinds of cells. Instead of remaining locked into one role, they can be reassigned. It's almost like a construction crew dismantling an entire building and using the same materials to build something completely different. The immortal jellyfish effectively rebuilds itself, not once, potentially many times. This discovery transformed the species into a scientific celebrity. Researchers realized they were looking at something extremely rare, an animal capable of repeatedly escaping the normal aging process. Of course, this raises an obvious question. If it's immortal, why aren't the oceans filled with billions upon billions of these jellyfish? The answer is important. The term immortal can be misleading. The immortal jellyfish is not invincible. It can still be eaten. It can still be injured. It can still die from disease. It can still be affected by environmental changes. What makes it special is that aging alone does not necessarily determine its fate. Instead of gradually declining because of age, it possesses a biological reset button. And that distinction is what captured worldwide attention. Scientists believe the jellyfish often triggers this reversal when facing stress, physical damage, environmental challenges, lack of food. Various forms of hardship may activate the transformation process. Rather than surrendering to difficult conditions, the jellyfish attempts something extraordinary. It starts over. This strategy has allowed the species to survive in environments where many creatures would struggle. And yet the mystery only deepens. Researchers are still investigating exactly how the process works at the genetic level. What signals trigger the transformation? How are cells instructed to change their identities? What molecular mechanisms make this possible? Even today, scientists continue searching for answers. Every new discovery seems to reveal another layer of complexity. One reason this animal attracts so much scientific interest is its potential relevance to human biology. Researchers studying aging often look for clues in unusual organisms. The immortal jellyfish has become one of the most intriguing subjects in that search. Not because humans could become immortal, but because understanding how cells repair, transform, and regenerate may help scientists better understand aging itself. For now, however, many of its secrets remain hidden, and that uncertainty only makes the animal more fascinating. Another surprising fact is how widely this species has spread. Although tiny and easy to overlook, the immortal jellyfish has appeared in numerous marine regions around the world. Its small size allows it to travel great distances. Many people may never realize they are sharing the ocean with one of nature's strangest biological wonders. Despite all the attention it receives, the jellyfish itself remains incredibly simple in appearance. There are no glowing warning signs, no giant size, no dramatic colors, no obvious clues. Its greatest power is completely invisible, and perhaps that's what makes the story so compelling. One of the most extraordinary abilities ever discovered belongs to an animal that many people would never notice. The immortal jellyfish reminds us that nature often hides its biggest surprises in the smallest packages. The deeper scientists investigate this species, the more questions emerge. Could there be limits to how many times it can reset? How did such an ability evolve? What genetic instructions allow the process to happen? And are there still biological secrets waiting to be discovered inside this tiny creature? Those questions continue to drive research around the world. For now, one fact remains undeniable. The immortal jellyfish has accomplished something that sounds impossible. It found a way to reverse its own biological clock, not through magic, not through technology, but through one of the most remarkable natural processes ever observed. In a world where every living thing eventually faces the effects of time, this tiny jellyfish stands apart. A transparent drifter in the ocean carrying one of biology's greatest mysteries. And perhaps the most incredible part of all is this: scientists are still learning from it, which means the story of the immortal jellyfish may be far from over. So what do you think? If humans could someday learn how to reverse aging the way the immortal jellyfish does, would that be one of humanity's greatest achievements, or one of its biggest challenges? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.